vibrationfrequency.com. Feel the vibe.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very live and special episode here on Vibration Frequency. We have a new show in the house tonight. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague DeAndre Landers, and this is LA Biz Guy, exclusively here on Vibration Frequency at vibrationfrequency.com. I am your humble host, Richard Carr. I'll be moderating tonight's panel. And now I want to swing the mic to my esteemed colleague, Mr. DeAndre Landers, the LA Biz Guy. Welcome,
Biz
DeAndre.
Guy.
Man,
good morning,
it's been quite
good
some
afternoon,
time.
and good evening, depending on when you tune in or when you download or however you're looking. I got some of my guys down here, Mr. Extraordinaire Tim Webb, who came down just for the show to bless us tonight. Tim, let us know who you are, what you do, my brother.
Sure, no problem. Anything for you, DeAndre. You're sort of, not sort of, you are. You're one of the number one relationships that I have, and I'm just excited to be a part of this. In particular, what I do, I've been a serial entrepreneur for some 25, 30 years now. What I focus on right now is I have a cryptocurrency business venture that I'm putting out there that basically what it does is that there are people that have assets that are unable to get them funded. And when they onboard them onto my platform, I'm able to create either cash or cryptocurrency for them. So that was one of the endeavors that I'm doing right now, and appreciate the opportunity to be with you today.
We're going to make this work for everybody. We're going to make sure that we're a different type of show, meaning that, there's a lot of shows that, what I say is they ask a lot of general questions.
Right.
I want the viewers, and this is why I have you here, and Marc. I'm gonna get to Marc in a second. We want the viewers to actually come away with something. Right. Like we want them, anyone who knows this show is going live or they're gonna watch it on YouTube or whatever. Yes. We want them to feel like when they sit down or when they tune in, they need to have their pen and paper ready because they're gonna leave with something, not just watch it because this is here to watch.
Yes.
Like they know they're expecting to leave with something.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
Our other guest, Mr. Marc Williams, also a longtime friend since we were just lads, came down as well. Marc, introduce yourself. Let us know what you do, why you here.
Oh, my goodness. My name is Marc Williams. I have my own real estate appraising business. Been doing that for the last 15 years. And also started doing some investing with my esteemed colleague, my cousin, Tim Webb is my first cousin, so we have decided after all these years to go into business together. So besides being a real estate appraiser, we also help people with their finances. So when I go to the house to do an appraisal, I like to say Wakanda when I get there. So I see my people in the door.
There you go.
What I'm saying? So when I get there and see somebody that look like me, so I want to help more people that look like me get into houses, own homes. So instead of, buying a drink at the bar or buying the bar, let's buy the block. Let's teach them how to buy the block.
Right.
And that's my dream, to help more people own homes and whatever else they want to own. So appraising, if you want to know anything about appraising, I've been doing that 15 years. I kind of got it down. And my dream is to open up an appraisal management company where I'm doing them in LA and I'm doing them in Vegas and the Bay Area. So I'm going to have all that. So that's the plan.
Somebody got to do it.
I got it. Somebody going
to do it. And this is why I did the intro separately.
Okay.
To give each its due. Because with Marc, I'm not that familiar with the whole real estate and everything, all the accessories to real estate. But I did find it interesting that you do the real estate, but also, when necessary, you can help someone
That's very
get their credit right.
Yes.
And versus say,
Yes.
what's your credit like? I don't know if they can help you. Work on that and come back and see us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Right?
No.
I'm going to help you get where you need to go to get this particular piece of property that you're looking for.
Exactly.
Right? And in my world, that's not every day where where you have that option as a consumer. Right? Okay, how can you help me help myself to get what I'm looking for?
Yeah.
And for you to be an individual that can help them in either way or both, that's big to me because I'm not used to seeing that.
Yeah, and,
you know,
and it's funny you say that because they tease me. I also was a high school soccer coach for 10 years at local high school there in Vallejo, and so for 10 years I did that. But I enjoy helping people more. So appraisals, I'm just by myself. But
Right,
doing
right.
the extra stuff, if I see somebody that needs some help, I can help them. So that's the part that I like. I'm really able to help people one way or the other. You know, how can you get this house? And if you don't have your finances the way you want, I got a tool that can help you get that. So it's not judging anybody. It's what can we do to help each other? So I always say my statement is, my slogan is, how can I help? Who can I help? And move on from there.
And
Okay.
they call him Credit Coach Mark.
Credit Coach
Mark. Which is
Credit
very
Coach.
fitting.
So
Write
that's-
that down.
Yeah.
Write
Credit
that
Coach
down.
Mark.
Credit Coach
Mark.
Mark.
That's why they say that, yeah.
I love it. I love it. While we're there, getting someone's credit, you're going to see the ups and downs, the goods and bads of someone's credit. That's very intimate, right? So what are some of the things, patterns, characteristics that you've learned from getting to know that intimate part of someone where you learn their credit? Like this is internal for somebody,
See, and
right?
that-
Because some people are embarrassed.
Yeah, because
right?
they
And
don't
so
teach
get
us these
that.
things in school. So that's why
Exactly.
they don't teach
So-
us these simple things. It's very simple once you start to look at it.
Yeah.
But since credit is so private and so intimate, everybody thinks they're special. When I say special, they have some credit problems. But guess what? At least 43 million people got the same problems you got, but everybody keeps it quiet.
Right.
It's a secret. So you don't want that to be a secret. And so what happens is they feel ashamed of their credit,
Yeah.
and they think everybody's going to see it. That's not how it works. You know, the way I have a system set up that I don't see your actual credit score. I just see what you need to work on.
Yeah.
And these items are going to be deleted. So your stuff is still private. When you give it to me, it's still private. I just said, you need to work on these 5 items and let's work on that. And my system, we work on everything all together. So you give me the information, but I still don't see the depths in what you did.
Right, yeah.
So it's still private. You still have that. It's still private when you come work with me. When we're working together, so I don't see your innermost, darkest secrets or what you spent the money on. I don't see that. I just see you have 10 items you need to get taken care of.
Right,
And so
right.
that way, once they see that, you know, you still have your privacy and I'm just helping you to take off these items that need to be deleted, I don't need to see that it was $10,000 on Macy's. I don't see that. All I see is Macy's was late a
number?
couple times and you get that. So once they get comfortable and they understand that, hey, you're not special, you're just normal like the other 43
Yeah.
million people who fell into this problem.
Right,
But
right.
see, credit is a trap, and they don't tell you that you should only use 30% of your credit card. 30% of your credit. Even if they give you, you know, instead of using 100% of your credit card, maxing the limit, just
Yeah.
use 30%. So, and then keep your credit history. So what you can pay that credit card off, don't do that. Why don't you just keep the good credit history, but don't pay it off? You know, but keep that outstanding
Stay
there.
active.
It's active. Keep it active. Don't close the account. You want a long credit history. You want that. So see, these are some of the things that they don't tell us
Yeah.
that they should. And so just being smart about it. And I find this helping people and getting them be able to get a house. You know, I had a few people who was able to get a house, a car, that department they wanted just by taking care of their credit. And it's simple, but once you got to first take that first step. And I
Yeah.
say, you know, that's what I do. I just have to take the first step. Let's do it. And I won't see it, so you still get to keep it private. So once they get over that fear of, oh, it's just me, I'm ashamed of my credit. No, don't. It happened to me. You know, when the market took a tumble, I was already in my house. I already had the cars. I already had that. You know, I was set, but I was like, look, tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Hey, I know the mortgage was due 30, on 30 days. Business was slow last month. I had to pay you in 45 days.
Right,
And
yeah.
just because I knew I could do that, but once the market picked up, I was paying cash. And so once I stumbled onto the system and I actually did it, my credit score jumped up 169 points. I was like, oh, I'm telling everybody.
Yeah.
Look, let's get it done. So I can only tell them not from just, not judging anybody. It happened to me. And I had my own business for 15 years. But the market got slow. It crashed, and everybody was running. What are we going to do? Appraisals was hard. They said, oh, this is appraisal's fault. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So instead of, fretting about it, I just paid cash for everything. Hey, sorry, mortgage, I'm late. But I was in the house.
Yeah.
But some people didn't have that option.
For you to be able to say
Yeah.
that
So-
you've been through it
I've been
to
through
your
it.
clients.
Yeah, I've been through
Like
it.
I was
know.
you.
Yeah,
I've been there.
I've been there.
That's got to be big.
Yeah, and that's what I tell them. It happened to me. I'm not preaching at you. It happened to me. And I didn't tell nobody. I kept it to myself. Half of my family still don't know. They think, oh, you balling, you got your own business. No, business got slow. I work
Yeah.
for myself.
Right, yeah.
I'm hustling. I'm trying to get more appraisals. I was up to 30 a month. I drop down to 5, sometimes 10. I'm like, okay, I need my 30 back. Business is good when there's 30 a month, but
Right.
it got slow. So that's how I fell into the trap. That's what happened to me. So, different circumstances. It's like, what happened to you? So with the credit thing, and once you open up and see that what credit allows you to do,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, and so learning everything about it. And I thought it was interesting to just, what do we need to do? How can we help our people? So, what can I do? And so that's why I do that. But so it's so easy, and it goes hand in hand with my real estate. When I go and I see a realtor and their client couldn't afford this house and their
Right.
credit was bad, how can I help them?
Right,
And
right,
so
right.
it's so simple. It was like a seamless transition because I wasn't looking for another business. And then I started talking to my cousin, Mr. Tim Webb, and what all we want to do together. And I said, let's tie everything together to what we're doing and how many people can we help. And so you know how when you get to the top of the mountain, instead of putting your foot on somebody's hand, you reach your hand down and you
Yep.
bring them up with you. So let's do that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's the relationships is more important than money. So I'd rather help people than to just make money by myself because I didn't have to do this part of it, but I feel more rewarding doing that.
Yeah.
And it's easy. I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in that field, but I had a saying that I said for myself, that I built for myself.
Yeah.
And I haven't shared it. So it could not make sense, but it makes me feel good about myself.
Yes.
Cash is convenient. Credit is power.
Mm. Yeah.
You got cash, you can get
Very
anything.
true. Very true.
Right? That was just my own
Right.
thing for myself,
Right.
for my own little something I could have tape, on a refrigerator magnet or something like that.
Yes.
For myself.
Right.
Right? So, Tim, is it a cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, the title of the industry? So I'm doing it
Sure,
correctly.
Yeah. Oh, no. So, the title of the industry, as you probably would talk about, is cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Bigger than that is blockchain, but we'll just talk about cryptocurrency
Yeah.
for now. Yes,
Okay.
cryptocurrency market.
So we're inclusive with everyone,
Yes.
but we want to, from speaking to you before, we want to educate people of color about it.
Yes.
So what are some of your hurdles and are you targeting that as well? Of course, everyone's included, but you just want to include everyone versus being exclusive. So what are some of the hurdles in that field, in those cultures of color that you find that's maybe some consistent habits or something like that?
Sure. So the first thing is that in general, people don't understand it.
Right, it's
Right.
new.
So it would be the same thing as if when we used to use money that was based on metal, silver, gold, copper. Then all of a sudden someone said, let's print money on paper. And people are like, that's like no more valuable than toilet paper. So really you want me to give up my hard coin for some paper? Well, eventually, again, they did. So now we've already started the transition towards electronic money, right? So you do
Right.
that with your credit cards,
cards.
you do that with your debit cards. Most of us don't carry cash in our pockets anymore.
that's true.
Right? So now we're as a nation, we're actually, as a world actually, we're actually moving to digital assets and digital currency.
It's gonna
So
happen.
now no longer will you have paper money anymore or coins, which will save also governments money because they don't have to print it and all the things they have to do. Now it'll all just be zeros and ones, just like the expansion of computers.
Right.
So that's what cryptocurrency basically is, and Bitcoin is the one that everyone knows because it's the oldest. It's about 10
Right.
years old, and so that's where everyone started. That when that grew and got really big, then people saw, oh wow, look at these people. They invested. I have a personal client that literally invested $3,000. That at the height last year, he was up to $2 million on a $3,000 investment. Now it's back down, but the point is, people saw the stories and now they're trying to jump in and be a part of it, and people are now losing money because it's like anything else. When it's new, it has a speculative phase and it expands,
Right.
and then all of a sudden it starts to, then all the fraudulent people come in,
Of course.
to take that,
Yeah,
and so
of
then the
course.
government comes in, regulates it to make sure that two things: A, to make sure safety happens for people who want to
Right,
get involved with cryptocurrency, but B, to also make room for the people who they want to basically control that area,
Right.
which is the big, large corporations and entities, NASDAQ, JP Morgan, some of the bigger organizations that they know, tried and true, who at least they can regulate or count on. So that's kind of just like a one-on-one on
Yeah.
just the cryptocurrency
Yeah,
piece.
just so we're clear
Yes.
to the listeners and the viewers. We all hear Bitcoin,
Yes.
but Bitcoin is just a brand of
Okay.
cryptocurrency, correct? Like U-Haul, is just the household name. Is that what Bitcoin is? But it's
No.
all cryptocurrency.
So Bitcoin is basically, so better use would be, or another explanation of, is that blockchain is the technology which Bitcoin is one use of blockchain technology. So because it's the leading cryptocurrency, it's the leading one used for transactions, to store value of things, to pay you with a Bitcoin. That is what Bitcoin is. So it's just the first. So they call it the main. And every other coin, like the coin, Power Coin that we have, is called the alternate coin. It's an altcoin. But it's also on the blockchain. So the main infrastructure is the blockchain. And then you have all these different cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and on. And there's like thousands of coins now. So that's the best way to explain it. It makes sense.
I wish I had a charge for that question, because I'm sure there's millions of people did not know what you just said.
I have no clue.
I should have sold it as a download or something like that. I just missed an opportunity. You got to be ready. You got to be ready.
I love it. I love it.
Business within the business as entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Right. What does, when I use the term investing in your brand, Mark, what does that mean to you?
You know, for a long time, I didn't do it with my appraisal company because I was afraid to get too big and couldn't handle the work. But as I'm helping people with their credit, I want to brand myself. So branding yourself, Credit Coach Marc. And they say, why Credit Coach Marc? Is because I'm a high school coach. I've been coaching for years. I was coaching for free.
Coach is who you are.
Yeah. And so I'm a coach. I've been coaching for years, and I love it. I love youth sports. I love helping, because what did I want the kids to have? And so I'm thinking about that, branding myself. And I didn't even think about it. Somebody told me, you should Coach Marc, Credit Coach Marc. And what have you been doing all the time? I've been coaching for free. Then they start paying me to do it. And I was like, they're going to pay me to coach? I love coaching. I get paid for this.
Right. Yeah.
I would do this for free.
Right.
So once you fall in love with something, it's not like work anymore. So that's how I was coaching. So somebody offered me a job. So now branding, I take that concept into branding. If you're doing this, it doesn't feel like work. So branding, you have to brand yourself and put yourself out there. I was uncomfortable with branding myself. I didn't have any pictures. So you got to get uncomfortable being uncomfortable. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So I was uncomfortable with branding myself, putting myself, Credit Coach Marc, what are you doing? Why are you on Instagram? Why are you on Facebook? I'm letting people know what I do. If they need the help, and say, I see you doing that. I got somebody who can use your help. Send them to me. Let me help them. So branding means putting yourself out, to me, putting yourself and letting people know what you do. So anybody needs some help with their credit, Credit Coach Marc.
There you go.
So
I'm going to go out on a limb and just guess. So what you're saying is, if you don't tell them, they won't know.
They won't know.
Okay.
You can't be a secret agent.
Right.
Then nobody will know.
Exactly,
you cannot be a secret agent. You got to let them know what you do.
Yeah.
And so,
I would think your auntie, my mom used to always say, closed mouths don't get fed.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so
And if you don't
gotta let them know.
promote yourself, who is?
And so branding is very important, and you hear it all the time. And a lot of the millennials do it. You have to brand yourself. You have to put yourself out there. You have to brand yourself so they know what you do.
Yeah.
And so this platform that you've given us, I would never think of us doing that. You look at us and you wouldn't have any idea that this is what we do. And as we come together, it's like natural. Working with you doing this, LA Biz guy, oh yeah, that's my boy. Oh, that's DeAndre.
Yeah, right.
That's the LA Biz guy. Oh, that's DeAndre. That's my boy. So, so branding yourself, because I know that's what he does, but nobody else knows that. So he's branding himself. We got to brand.
Absolutely.
So entrepreneurs, you have to brand yourself. So how do you do that? So I'm learning what else I need to do. And you've been giving me some great advice on that. So now I've been taking it.
Yep.
He tells me,
Amen.
hey, I looked at you. I like you doing this, but you can do this too. I said, oh, really? Thanks, DeAndre. I didn't think about that. So then you start to see what you can do as branding yourself. And I didn't know. And it's still more that I'm learning. And I like learning, So branding is very important.
Also, just as important, I'm assuming, that as a coach is who you are and what you do, just youth meaning youngsters.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Coaching, period. Like, I'm seeing it as, if you can do that, like if you have the skills of coaching, right? You have the skill. You're able to your communication skills,
Right.
Right.
and your negotiation skills with negotiating personalities is where I'm trying to get at.
Sure.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
From the youth and adults.
Exactly.
Because you have to do that constantly, no?
Exactly.
Am I right?
Yeah, no, that's perfect that you said that. That analogy, that's perfect because you said, and it draw me to something I was thinking. And I said, the soccer girls were playing, and I said, when I make a substitution, I have 11 starters, but if one gets hurt, I have 11 people on the bench. You won't be able to tell when she comes in that she wasn't a starter because I give the same attention to the people sitting on the bench as the starters. So my starters never knew. I said, I understand you got hurt, but she can play just as well as you can.
Yeah.
And so you don't know the difference. It's seamless. So you want to make sure that you give that attention to all your clients are the same. Everybody gets that same treatment.
Right.
You're a starter, but I'm going to treat you just like somebody coming as a sub coming in. You won't know the difference. And so that's the level of attention that you have to do as a coach. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's the best, that you can't tell my starters from my subs.
Yeah.
So that's the same attention you want to do in business that you can't, any of my clients that's my most important client.
Right.
That's what you want to do. So it's seamless. That's that's the coaching that you're going to get.
Right,
When you're talking to me, you're my only focus. You're my only client. What can I do to help you?
Right.
Let's help you. I'm not worried about the call coming in. I'm not worried about, I'm working with you right now. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that type of relationship, I didn't see that when I was looking at people coach, they didn't coach like that. I said, why? Why are you only worried about the starters? Guess what? Now she didn't broke her ankle, she can't play. But you've been treating this person on the sideline like they're not important. So that's important.
And actually with that, it also gives what we call starters and off the bench.
Right.
I'm assuming everyone's comfort zone
Yes.
is the same as well. You need that person come off the bench to be just as comfortable as going into play as well. And that makes a better team.
Yes.
When everyone
and
is just
I never
comfortable.
had that problem.
They're not nervous.
Yes. And that's
right.
That's
and
it.
quiet is kept by doing that, by managing that. Quiet is kept in today's generation.
Right.
By treating the children fairly.
Yeah.
You're also, as a coach, managing parents' personality as well.
Exactly.
Especially in today's generation.
And
right?
for some reason you say that, it's so funny. I've never had it, as myself personally, I never had that trouble. I never had any trouble because I treated everybody the same.
Right, right.
Starters coming off the bench, everybody's going to get the same level of coaching. The same level. So I brought that into my business, and it's been working really well.
And that, I was just going to add that you were talking about branding.
Yeah.
That approach becomes a part of your branding. So it's not just, a lot of people think they get on tweet, they get out, but you actually have to do something and be about something that people can appreciate. So the way that you approach coaching, the way you approach business, that actually is part of your brand. That brand is supposed to signify, all the big companies do it. It's supposed to signify something. That's why they want to give you one. They could be doing, removing waste, right? It could be a waste commercial that does garbage, and they give you a feeling of things are clean, right? They don't do any clean. They just come up, pick up your garbage.
Right.
But their brand would be something. So when you think of it in your mind, you see that image, that logo, or hear that jingle, right then and there, you've already say, I want to experience this brand. I want to do business with them. Yeah. And I think that's why I was saying with Marc being credit coach Marc, it fits.
Yeah.
Because he treats you like you are an athlete or even as an individual that you're coaching. Yeah. And you feel that when you do it. I'm actually a client of his as well. And I came back from Africa and didn't really have any credit that was any good. And I had been out in Africa for so long, I didn't have anything to show for it. After I became a partner with him in the credit business and utilized it myself, first thing I did was get the car. Second thing I did was bought a house.
Got the house all in Vegas. Let's go.
All that.
All that.
From clearing up, willing to step in, follow what they said I needed to do with my credit.
Let's go.
And it all worked out in that way. So it does work. I'm a living testament. So when he said join the business, I was like, yeah, me myself can go from where I was. I have this thing I call this whole concept of 0 to millions. How do you take people from 0 to millions? And that's the whole point. Credit is a part of that formula to go from 0 to millions.
Right. And if they just tell us and teach us that in school, if they teach the youth, and because you shouldn't have to learn it when you already have credit, that is poor.
Already have the problem.
Our parents kept a secret from us. Hey, keep your credit score up. I tell both of my kids now, what's your credit score? 700, 750? Okay, good. We're going to keep it that way. Right. I didn't get that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, why is it important? Because now it affects everything you do, from your employers
absolutely.
to buying a house, buying an apartment. If you get the cell phone, you got to have distant credit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And if it's that important, if it's that important,
Yes.
why is it not normal curriculum?
Because it's
If everyone teaching you,
they make
your
more money.
teachers,
You make more money with people with bad credit.
Well,
Is that
well,
what-
well, there is a market for bad credit,
Yeah,
so you're
it's a
absolutely right there.
multi-million-dollar
So there's
business.
multi-million. They pay the
With the
highest
high
interest
interest
rate.
rate.
That's
Yes,
the fees.
yes,
So
the
there's a
fees,
market to
okay.
keep a certain
Okay,
group
right.
of people.
Yeah.
But on the other end, it's supposed to be also something that your family should be passing on to you. And unfortunately, given
Creating-
our circumstances in terms of black folks in America, that's kind of how, you know,
Yes.
it's come out. So many of us don't
Yeah.
know to share those different, you know, techniques or strategy for wealth building. They're just absent. So,
Yes.
but now there's a lot of us who can do it, and
it's
you know,
changing.
we believe that we need to share that information. LA Biz Guy, I think, is a perfect also platform for us to get these out so that our community can be more successful.
okay. So, what I want to go with you is the same question,
Yes,
right? Like when I say invest in your brand,
yes.
what it means to you, and then what steered you to cryptocurrency?
Sure, absolutely. So investing in my brand means to me that I literally, which is what I don't do, unfortunately, will actually take enough time and effort to actually build my brand. So know what my approach is, to be present, like you said, promote myself. So I have a brand. People who know me. I'm like a trusted brand, as they say,
Right.
because people know me. They know my word is my word, and I do what I say I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But I haven't broadcasted my brand. That's where I felt. And
We gonna fix
the
that.
first time that I learned that I was nobody, even though I had a whole bunch of experience and, you know, I've done a lot of things in my life, was actually my cousin, his niece, is an expert at branding. People pay to watch her build a tent in her bedroom. They pay her money online. When she goes to other countries, there are people waiting there at restaurants. They book restaurants. They do all these things. She's of that generation.
Right,
So
yeah, yeah.
she was blowing up. They used to call her the MTV. Her organization was Gin and Juice. They used to call her the MTV of blogging, right? And so I was like, let me help you. I know how to be your CFO. I can do all these things for you, blah, 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 blah. She says, but you don't have any followers. You don't have anything. Nobody knows who you are. And I was like, that's when I aged. In that moment, I realized I was disconnected.
respect your elders.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I wanted to say.
Don't
But
talk
the
to me
but
that way.
today, the branding is uber important.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
Yes.
I'm working towards building up those muscles of, you know, because one of the things about it is you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
You can't just do it that's the hard part, is being consistent and valuing being consistent
Yeah.
in that end. The way I got into cryptocurrency is that I call myself a financial engineer. So I've been helping companies find money, entrepreneurs, startups to large companies, opening up markets for them domestically and internationally. So I understand sort of finance and money. And when I saw cryptocurrency come around, I was like, I'm not really interested in being a person that invests in cryptocurrency like you invest in a stock, So for example, you know, I want to buy some Google stock early on, and I hope it shoots up and I make money, right? I'm going to buy Bitcoin or this new altcoin that's coming out. I'm going to buy it and hopefully it goes up. I wanted to be in the infrastructure side of it. So that's what my venture is about, is developing our own platform on the blockchain that, like I said, that basically, I use the example, let's say your parent passed away and they have 1,000 acres in Mississippi, very rich farmland, but you don't want to sell it to anybody. You don't know what to do with it. You go to the bank won't give you money because it's raw land, so you don't know, what to do. A farmer comes, he wants to lease it from you, but, he or she is like, well, I'll just pay you pennies on the dollar, enough to pay your taxes. So you're really not making any money. You got another company that says, oh, you know what? We'll come and do all the farming for you. This is what our farm management and our fees to do that. So you're trying to get that money, but you can't get it from the bank. Well, because your farm has value as is, I can basically take that value, upload it on my platform, and you'll end up with my currency, which is an asset-backed currency, and that then you can trade it, or you can actually do something which we'd have to have another show on that. You can do crypto mining with it, and that'll generate more money for you. So now you can take that money that my platform just helped generate it, and now you can pay to raise the value of your property, and to start getting money out of it. So it's really not lending. It's more using the blockchain to take and exchange value. You know, I have my saying, which is got value, exchange it.
Love it. On that note,
Yes.
download what he just said in your brains, y'all. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with a little more, some more game. Let's call it game.
All right, then.
All right?
Thank you.
I'm down.